Hello and a very warm welcome. I'm Alison LaGrange and you are watching Firstpost. In the next few minutes, I get you the top 40 updates from around the world, only here on Fast and Factual. Let's get started. 3 Lashkar-e-Taiba terrorists were killed in an encounter with security forces in Jammu and Kashmir's Shopian today. The encounter initially began in Pahalgam and then shifted to a forest area in Shopian. Security personnel fought with the terrorists for about 2 hours. The encounter broke out after the security forces received intelligence inputs on terrorist presence. Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited Punjab's Adampur Airbase and interacted with the soldiers. This comes days after India and Pakistan agreed to a ceasefire. Adampur was among the Air Force stations that Pakistan attempted to attack on the intervening night of the 9th and 10th of May, following India's Operation Sindoor. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed the nation on Operation Sindoor on Monday. In a strong message, Prime Minister Modi said that India won't bow down to Pakistan's nuclear blackmail. He said Operation Sindoor was a strike against terrorists and terror infrastructure in Pakistan and was in response to the April 22nd Pahalgam terror attack. Prime Minister Modi said that India has only temporarily paused its encounter offensive against Pakistan's terror establishments. He added that the country will assess Pakistan's every move in the coming days, based solely on its behavior. Prime Minister Modi said that Operation Sindoor was the new normal and is also India's newly established policy in the fight against terrorism. India's air defense intercepted Pakistani drones on Monday night after reports of small number of drones entering the Sambar district in Jammu and Kashmir. The residents also reported seeing red streaks in the sky and hearing loud explosions. The actions followed Prime Minister Modi's speech on Monday. Meanwhile, the Indian Army stated that the situation remained calm and completely under control. A precautionary blackout was initiated in Sambar district of Jammu and Kashmir after drones were spotted in the region. A blackout was also implemented in Akhnur, and this amid the cross-border. After drones were spotted in the region, a blackout was also implemented in Akhnur, and this amid the cross-border firing between India and Pakistan. Authorities in Punjab's Amritsar and Hoshiarpur had also issued orders enforcing a blackout on Monday. Indigo and Air India have announced the cancellation of their flights to and from Srinagar, Jammu, Amritsar, Chandigarh, and 3 other border cities for Tuesday. This decision follows heightened tensions between India and Pakistan after drones were spotted in a few locations of Jammu and Kashmir. Schools in 5 border districts of Punjab remained closed today. The orders were issued in Amritsar, Pathankot, Fazilka, Firozpur and Taran. Colleges and universities also remained shut in Pathankot and Amritsar. The institutions were closed as a precautionary measure amid the prevailing tensions between India and Pakistan. India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh held a high-level meeting with the Defence Secretary, the Chief of Defence Staff and the Chiefs of Navy and Army in New Delhi. The meeting comes amid heightened tensions with Islamabad and frequent ceasefire violations from the Pakistani side. Earlier, Singh had warned Pakistan against testing India's patience, saying the country is ready to deliver a quality response if provoked. India's Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri will brief Parliament's Standing Committee of External Affairs on tensions with Pakistan on Monday. Now, Misri has regularly briefed the committee on several foreign briefing affairs, and this has been the press amid the ongoing Pakistan-India tensions as well. And the Jammu and Kashmir police have released photos of 3 Pahalgam terror attack suspects. and have announced a reward of 20 lakh or over $23,000 for those who provide information related to the terrorists. At least 26 people had died in the tragic Pahalgam terror attack on the 22nd of April. And following the Pahalgam terrorist attack last month, India has decided to send a team to the UN Security Council's 1267 Sanctions Committee meeting this week. The team would request to designate the Resistance Front, or the TRF, as a terrorist organization. The Pahalgam attack that resulted in 26 civilian deaths was claimed by the TRF, an offshoot of the banned Pakistan-based terror organization Lashkar-e-Taiba. And the Indian government has once again busted propaganda by Pakistan that showed a fake video suggesting damage to the Indian airfield. The government said the missiles by Pakistan were intercepted. Meanwhile, India has also stated that none of its female pilots are in Pakistan's custody. India has also refuted Pakistan's claim, calling Lashkar-e-Taiba's terrorist a common man. US President Donald Trump said on Monday that the United States is ready to help India and Pakistan in the wake of a ceasefire agreement. During an event at the White House, Trump claimed trade was the biggest reason why both the countries stopped fighting. He added that the US was willing to trade with both countries. In several villages of Amritsar, Punjab, at least 15 people died and 10 others were hospitalized in a critical condition after consuming spurious liquor. Authorities said that all the victims bought the liquor from the same source. The Punjab government has registered 2 complaints and main suppliers of the liquor have been arrested. India has informed the World Trade Organization that it proposes to impose retaliatory tariffs on select American goods. This comes after Washington imposed tariffs on steel and aluminium products made in India, calling it a safeguard measure. The proposal assumes significance as both countries negotiate a bilateral trade agreement. And global stock markets rallied after the United States and China halted their tariff war and agreed to slash the steep tariffs for at least 90 days. Wall Street saw a strong rally with the S&P 500 reaching its highest closing point since the 3rd of March. Meanwhile, the Nasdaq Composite achieving its highest closure since the 28th of February. A crypto firm named American Bitcoin, backed by the eldest sons of US President Donald Trump, is set to go public. It will merge with Griffin Digital Mining, a stock-for-stock deal, and the new company's ticker will be ABTC. American Bitcoin's original management team will be in charge of the company. And Nissan Motors shares rallied on Tuesday after a report that the Japanese automaker is planning to cut 11,000 more jobs. This comes after Nissan said in November it would cut 9,000 jobs amid weak sales in the US and China. Now the struggling automaker will be closer to cutting 20,000 jobs, which is about 15% of its workforce. And McDonald's has announced plans for hiring new people in the US this summer. The fast food chain is looking to add 375,000 staff. Now, it is the biggest hiring push by McDonald's in 5 years. The company is also preparing to open 900 new stores over the next 2 years. Amazon has hired FedEx to deliver some large packages to homes. This comes after UPS pulled back on Amazon deliveries and cut jobs. FedEx stocks jumped 7% after the partnership announcement with Amazon. The deal is a multi-year agreement covering only select large items. And Nigeria has posted the fastest GDP growth in a decade. The West African nation's economy grew by 3.4% last year. However, the figures don't take into consideration the COVID recovery years. Now, this is according to the World Bank. Nigeria's growth was driven by sustained recovery in the oil and gas sector. Koidu Limited, Sierra Leone's biggest diamond mining company, has shut down its operations. The company has fired over 1,000 local workers after a months-long dispute. The workers had first gone on strike in December of 2024 over low wages and poor conditions. They paused the strike to allow talks, but then they reportedly resumed in March when nothing changed. And Samsung has unveiled its thinnest flagship phone, the Galaxy S25 Edge. It has advanced AI features and targets younger consumers. The launch aims to beat Apple to market before its next iPhone drops. Experts say the S25's launch, the timing is key, as Apple is slated to launch its own thinner model later this year. And Apple is considering raising prices of the new iPhone series that is set to launch later this year. The tech giant, however, is hoping to avoid a scenario where its prices would be hiked, and this would be attributed to Trump's tariffs on Chinese products. Instead, Apple would likely link the price hike to its new features and design. And moving on to sports news, and we start with cricket. The Indian cricket fraternity gave an emotional tribute to legendary batter Virat Kohli for his Test retirement. Sachin Tendulkar, the highest run-getter in Test format, wrote in a social media post that Virat Kohli's true legacy is inspiring countless young cricketers to pick up the sport. Virender Sehwag, in a post, wrote the benefits of Kohli's dedication for the format will be reaped by generations to come. The Indian Premier League is set to resume on the 17th of May. India's cricket board, the BCCI, has announced in the revised schedule the tournament will now be played across 6 venues. The final is scheduled to be played out on the 3rd of June at a venue that will be announced at a later date. The IPL was temporarily suspended last Friday following hostilities between India and Pakistan. And the Bangladesh Cricket Board appointed former Australia pacer Shaun Tate as the bowling coach for their senior men's team. The 42-year-old Tate will join the team later this month. Tate will be on a 2-year contract, running until the next ODI Cricket World Cup in November of 2027. The former Aussie Quick was part of Australia's 2007 World Cup winning squad. And in football news, Sheffield United cruised into the Championship playoff final. This after goals from Kiefer Moore, Gustavo Hammer and Callum O'Hare produced a 3-0 win over Bristol City. Sheffield secured a 6-0 aggregate success in a one-sided semi-final. A win in the final will see Sheffield promoted to the Premier League next season. A Newcastle defender, Dan Burn, opened up about his mental health. Burn said that mental health struggles are not a weakness, but a sign of strength, especially when one asks for help during the times of struggle. The Premier League star said, and I quote, "Mental health doesn't discriminate. It affects everybody. When you speak about it, you realize everybody's got something going on." Real Madrid head coach Carlo Ancelotti will be the next Brazil national team manager. The Brazilian football body, the CBF, has announced this. The 65-year-old will lead Brazil until the 2026 World Cup and will also coach the team in the next 2 qualifying games against Ecuador and Paraguay. Ancelotti is currently with Real Madrid, where he won the Champions League and La Liga titles last year. And in tennis, women's world number 1 Aryna Sabalenka stormed into the last 8 of the Italian Open. Sabalenka beat Ukraine's Marta Kostyuk 6-1, 7-6 in their round of 16 clash. The match lasted 2 hours and 5 minutes. And women's world number 3 Coco Gauff entered the Italian Open quarterfinals. The American beat Britain's Emma Raducanu in straight sets in their round of 16 clash. After the match, Coco Gauff hailed her British opponent and said that Emma is a tough opponent, no matter what surface. And men's world number one Yannick Sinner advanced to the Italian Open. The Italian beat Netherlands' Jesper de Jong 6-4, 6-2 in the round of 32. Now this was Sinner's 23rd consecutive win. India's campaign ended in the ongoing World Squash Championships. This as all 4 Indian players lost their respective matches in the second round of the tournament. Women's world number 62, Anahat Singh, who became only the second Indian female to make it to the Squash World Championships, lost to her Egyptian rival 1-3. All 3 Indian men in the tournament, Abhay Singh, Veer Chaturani and Ramit Tandon, also lost their respective games. And on to entertainment news now. On the first day of rapper Sean Diddy Combs' sex trafficking trial, the prosecution accused him of using fame and violence to abuse women. Prosecutors focused on 2 central victims, including Combs' 2 former girlfriends. Meanwhile, the rapper's lawyers defended him, rejecting all sex trafficking accusations. And reality TV star Kim Kardashian will take the stand in a courtroom in Paris to testify a gang known as Grandpa Robbers. The group of 10 members is accused of robbing Kardashian at gunpoint, stealing her jewelry worth $9 million, and leaving her locked in a bathroom back in 2016. And American actor and director Justin Baldoni has finally ended his 5-month social media break. He posted a photo of his family on Instagram, which featured him, his wife, his mother, and his 2 children. The picture was shared in honor of Mother's Day. The post marked Baldoni's first photo on Instagram in 5 months amid his ongoing lawsuit with actor Blake Lively. And actor Kevin Spacey has joined the cast of conspiracy thriller The Awakening. The film will also star Justin Tinto, Peter Stormare and Alice Eve. The movie marks Spacey's return to public limelight after being cleared of sexual assault allegations in 2023. And the Cannes Film Festival, which begins today, has officially banned nudity and excessively voluminous clothing on the red carpet. The updated dress policy has sparked criticism due to the recent trend of sheer dresses, such as Bianca Censori's Grammy appearance. And that's all for today. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you right back here tomorrow. Stay informed and stay tuned to Firstpost.